Can you guys just look towards this wall right here?
Towards that wall?
Oh my gosh. I've been a janitor for 23 years.
Just a small town girl.
You are my hero.
That scared guy. Before AGT, my life was very normal.
Things aren't looking good for Richard Goodall, the former janitor who surprised everyone on America's Got Talent. After his incredible performance, it seemed like his dreams were finally coming true, but things have taken a troubling turn. Despite his talent, challenges are now threatening to steal away the bright future he had hoped for. What could have happened to dim his shining moment? Let's uncover what's really going on with Richard's life that will make you cry your heart out. The janitor's hidden talent. The impact of the media in shining a light on hidden talents is truly significant. Richard Goodall was just another janitor at Sullivan Elementary School in Indiana, but his life was about to change in a way no one saw coming. Known as the singing janitor, his story is like something out of a movie meant to lift your spirits. Imagine a quiet, empty school late in the evening, just the dim glow of the overhead lights and the soft sound of a mop sweeping across the floor. There, in the midst of the solitude, was Richard, usually just a background figure, unnoticed by most. Known mainly for his reliability and hard work, not many knew of the beautiful talent he possessed. Every day while he cleaned, he would sing, his voice filling the halls with music. Before we go any further, it's clear that Richard's path took a turn far more dramatic than anyone could have guessed. And this won't be the only thing that will shock you. Richard found happiness in singing as he worked, treating it as a cherished hobby. To the students, however, it was clear he had a real gift. They saw his potential and encouraged him to take his talent outside the school, which eventually led him to the stage of America's Got Talent, a moment that would transform his life. Before he walked onto the AGT stage, Richard shared some personal stories. He talked about his fiancée Angie, who was always by his side, supporting him. But there was a small bit of gossip because Angie looked quite younger than him, which made people curious about their relationship. Richard had faced some tough times before. His former wife had died in 2019 after a long struggle with cancer. On social media, Richard expressed his sorrow, saying, "I'm so sorry. I did my best, but my best wasn't good enough. Cancer feels like a punch that knocks you down and then you're expected to just stand up and start over." Would Richard's incredible singing voice have remained hidden if life hadn't taken such a surprising turn? America's Got Talent, or AGT, is a part of a global talent show network started by Simon Cowell. The show is produced by Fremantle USA and Psycho Entertainment and is aired on the NBC network. It first aired on the 21st of June 2006 after a delay in launching a British version due to conflicts with the British broadcaster ITV. The success of AGT prompted the British version to start in 2007. Since it began, AGT has been a staple of summer television, captivating millions of viewers with its diverse performances. AGT welcomes contestants from all over the United States and even internationally, showcasing talents that range from singing and dancing to comedy and magic tricks. These contestants are aiming to impress the judges, hoping to move on to live shows and maybe win the big prize. This prize includes a large amount of money and a chance to headline a show in Las Vegas starting from Season 3. The show has been a huge success, drawing an average of 10 million viewers each season. In 2013, a book titled Inside America's Got Talent, The Untold Stories of America's Got Talent was published, giving fans a peek into the lives of the contestants, judges, and the production process. Over 18 seasons have aired, and the 19th season aired in the summer of 2024, keeping viewers hooked with its never-ending surprises and talent. AGT has also led to various spin-offs like America's Got Talent The Champions and America's Got Talent Extreme. Each season starts with producers' auditions, held in various cities across the country, followed by judges' auditions, where contestants perform in front of a live audience. Each act has 90 seconds to show their best, and the judges give feedback and vote on whether they should advance. If most judges agree, the contestant moves forward. If not, they are out. Judges can also stop a performance with buzzers if it's not going well. Over the years, AGT has added online auditions, guest judges, and in Season 9, the Golden Buzzer, which lets a judge send a contestant directly to the live shows. Now, as Richard gets ready to show his talent, his big moment is here, and the stage he's about to face will change everything for him. The janitor takes center stage. Richard's leap from being a janitor to becoming a star began when he decided to share his singing talent with the world. He traveled to Las Vegas, not distracted by the gambling or the bright lights, but focused on his goal to impress the judges. This was his moment, stepping into the spotlight from behind the scenes, claiming the stage that seemed meant for him all along. His story was finally falling into place. On the AGT stage, dressed in his simple Indiana attire, a shirt, pants, and a hat, Richard shared his life story with Terry Crews, the host. He talked about his years spent cleaning and maintaining schools, to which Terry could relate, sharing that his first job in Los Angeles was also mopping floors. This highlighted how humble beginnings could lead to great outcomes. On the popular show America's Got Talent, it was Richard's turn to tell the judges about his life before he sang. Feeling a bit shaky at the start, he paused to calm down. But when he began to sing, Richard really let go. He started with the song Don't Stop Believing, and instantly the crowd went wild. The judges were shocked. They couldn't believe such a strong voice was coming from a man who had been cleaning floors for the past 23 years. Richard chose this song because it spoke about his own tough times and how he kept pushing to do better. After his powerful performance, it was up to the judges to decide what would happen to Richard next. This part of the show is always filled with suspense and can go any way. But this time, with the crowd and judges all rooting for him, it looked good for Richard. Everyone felt the energy and skill he brought to his performance. This was a moment every participant dreams of, and Richard was living it. With cheers all around him, the golden buzzer was pressed, catapulting him straight to the live shows. This meant he skipped the earlier competition rounds and secured his spot in the next stage. Richard's success on the show was about more than just his amazing voice. It highlighted his bravery, persistence, and the inspiring idea that it's never too late to chase your dreams. His story struck a chord with people all over the country, proving that if you have real talent, eventually it will get noticed. But Richard's impact went beyond just those watching the show. He touched the lives of many who had felt ignored or underappreciated. His experience is a powerful reminder that where you start doesn't decide where you'll end up, it's how much heart and effort you put into your goals. From sweeping floors to captivating millions, Richard Goodall showed that dreaming big is always worth it, and sometimes taking a big risk can lead to amazing places. After that memorable performance, Richard became a symbol of hope and resilience. He got loads of messages from people inspired by his story, many of whom shared their own tales of overcoming difficulties and following their passions despite setbacks. Richard's story wasn't just about a cleaner who could sing, it was about a man who never stopped believing in himself, no matter how many years went by. His janitor's outfit might have hidden his talent, but it never silenced his voice. Now, that voice is reaching people far beyond the walls of Sullivan Elementary School, showing that sometimes the most incredible talents come from the least expected places. Could Richard have ever imagined that his voice, once only heard in empty school halls, would one day touch the hearts of millions across the nation? Overwhelmed with happiness, Richard shed tears and immediately called his fiancée Angie to tell her the wonderful news. Think about it. How many people in their 50s would dare to face possible rejection on live TV? It takes a lot of courage, and Richard definitely had it. With each song, Richard felt old memories coming back, and what began as just a performance turned into a special tribute to the people he loved. Heartfelt tribute on a big stage. When it comes to classic R&B music, Michael Bolton is often seen as a top artist, and Richard seemed to agree. That's why he picked one of Bolton's famous songs for his next act. More than just entertaining, his performance was deeply emotional, pulling everyone present into a wave of feelings. Many were curious about why Richard chose that particular song and why he seemed so emotional while singing it. His tears were not just about being on such a big stage, they were connected to something much more personal. As the familiar notes of Michael Bolton's song filled the air, Richard's emotions were on full display. This performance wasn't just another show for him, it was a tribute to a very important person in his life, especially since his ex-wife had passed away. Standing on that stage, Richard was flooded with memories of his late wife, who had always supported him through the years as he balanced his day job with his passion for music. Their love was everlasting, a true partnership filled with dreams, laughter, and mutual support through all of life's ups and downs. She always believed in his singing, even when he doubted himself. However, after the performance, Richard revealed that the song was actually dedicated to his fiancée, Angie. Choosing Bolton's song wasn't a random choice, it was one of Angie's favorites. The lyrics really spoke to Richard, and as he sang, he wasn't just performing for the judges or the audience, he was singing for Angie, celebrating the love they shared and remembering the strong bond he had with his late wife. The tears came freely, not from sadness, but from a deep place of love and remembrance. It seemed as if in that moment his late wife was there with him, cheering him on. The audience could feel the depth of his emotions, and what might have been just another act on a talent show turned into something much more heartfelt. Richard's voice, already powerful, gained an added layer of vulnerability, drawing everyone in. The crowd felt every note, every emotion, and every bit of soul he poured into the song. After his performance, when asked about his tears, Richard shared the significance of the song, the impact of his late wife on his life, and how the song also represented his love for Angie. The judges were visibly moved by his story, and his heartfelt explanation resonated with everyone in the room. This performance wasn't just about showcasing Richard's singing talent, it was about love, loss, and the healing power of music. In that moment, the judges saw Richard not just as another contestant, but as a man who had lived a life filled with love and was now channeling that experience into his art. Losing someone you deeply love is a heavy heartache, especially if it happens when you're older. Richard had spent a full 30 years with his wife, a time filled with deep affection and memorable moments that they both cherished. They were always together, marking each Christmas and Valentine's Day with celebration and joy. The collection of photos from these times shows a couple deeply connected in a remarkable way, sharing a love that seemed to have no bounds. However, in 2019, his wife lost her battle with cancer, leaving a deep emptiness in Richard's life, an emptiness that seemed impossible to fill. As time passed, Richard managed to open his heart to someone new. On the 25th of August, he took to Instagram to share a picture of himself with his new partner, Angie, enjoying an evening at Taco Tequila's. He captioned the photo, "Fun night with my Lane," suggesting that he was finding moments of happiness once more. Despite this new chapter, Richard often found himself alone in his room, singing along to his stereo, lost in dreams of being in a music band. A dream that was partly realized as he was actively participating in a local band based in Terre Haute, Indiana. This calm, routine existence took an exciting turn when a TikTok video capturing Richard performing the song Journey at a local middle school captured viral attention. This sudden fame brought him numerous invitations to perform at local venues. By the month of July, his band had bookings for every weekend. Richard expressed his excitement and gratitude online, stating, "And just like that, we're booked every weekend in July. Thank you to the band for their awesome hard work. See you folks Saturday night at Archie's Sports Bar at 7:30. Don't miss a note." Richard's rise to fame was amazing, but it also brought new problems that tested his strength. The road to AGT's Golden Buzzer. Rumors started circulating that Richard and his band, Menopause, might even make it to the finals of America's Got Talent. However, despite his emerging local fame, Richard faced financial hurdles. Earning a modest income as a janitor, he struggled with the costs associated with traveling, staying over for shows, and other expenses linked to participating in competitions. In a heartwarming turn of events, a local from Terre Haute named Chris Burson set up a GoFundMe campaign to help Richard cover his competition-related expenses. The campaign, titled "Support Richard Goodall's Travel to the First Competition," quickly gathered an impressive $15,000, signaling strong community support for Indiana's Golden Buzzer recipient of AGT. By the 9th of June, 382 people had donated, ensuring that Richard could focus solely on his performances, backed by the financial and emotional support of his community. On the 7th of June 2016, a 12-year-old named Grace Vanderwall stepped onto the stage of America's Got Talent. Her performance of her original song, I Don't Know My Name, dealt with themes of personal identity and discovery, earning her immediate acclaim. Judge Howie Mandel was so touched by her talent that he awarded her the Golden Buzzer, sending her directly to the live quarterfinals. Simon Cowell praised her as the next Taylor Swift, which significantly elevated her public profile. Throughout the competition, Grace continued to impress with her unique voice and heartfelt songs. For her quarterfinal performance on the 23rd of August, she sang Beautiful Thing, a song she wrote for her sister, which deeply moved the audience. Not many 12-year-olds could claim such a powerful stage presence while playing the ukulele so gracefully. On the 30th of August, during the semifinals, she performed another original song, Light the Sky, and for her final show on the 13th of September, she delivered a powerful rendition of Clay, a song that tackled bullying and promoted self-empowerment. Grace's approach to music was not just about displaying talent, but also delivering meaningful messages. Her audition quickly became one of the most watched moments of the show, amassing over 100 million views and ranking as the 5th most trending YouTube video of 2016. During the finale, where Stevie Nicks performed, she even likened her style to Grace's, underscoring the special quality of her talent. The season ended on the 14th of September, with Grace being named the winner of the 11th season of America's Got Talent, marking her as only the second female and second child winner in the history of the show. Following her triumph, Grace was thoughtful about how to use her $1 million prize. She planned to give part of it to charity and also fulfill a whimsical wish to build 2 tree houses for herself and her sister, to be designed by the team from Treehouse Masters. It seemed Grace was laying foundations for new personal adventures and furthering her music career. Grace's fame surged after her win. She appeared on The Ellen DeGeneres Show and The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon in September 2016, where her humble nature and remarkable talent continued to win hearts. In October, she performed 4 sold-out shows at the PH Showroom in Las Vegas, alongside other America's Got Talent finalists. This was a realization of a dream for a young girl who had just recently stepped into the limelight. Grace also headlined the America's Got Talent Holiday Spectacular in December, captivating the audience with her performance of Frosty the Snowman. In September 2016, Grace signed a recording contract with Columbia Records, officially launching her music career. A few months later, on the 2nd of December, she released her debut EP, Perfectly Imperfect, which included the song she performed on AGT, along with a new track, Gossip Girl. The EP was a huge success, debuting at number 9 on the Billboard 200 and becoming the best-selling EP of the year. Her single, I Don't Know My Name, also charted on Billboard's digital song sales, solidifying her status as an emerging music star. Is Richard Goodall's sudden struggle just a bump in the road, or is there something deeper behind his fading success? Share your thoughts and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.